Watch it. Right there. That's me.
Alright.
And,
See you guys.
and.
Just want to let you know your last couple papers.
Close up of my face. That's me. Right there. And that's Ki Hong Lee.
Have been really.
So why is that relevant? What movie is that? And why was I in that movie? So that film is actually called Everything Before Us, and it's the first feature film from Wong Fu Productions, which are a group of filmmakers here on YouTube. They've been doing films way before YouTube, but like they're known for doing a lot of short films, a lot of like web series. That was their first feature film. We see it all the time. It's kind of becoming a topic recently of discussion where Hollywood tends to cast a lot of straight white people as leads, and it's true. I mean, people of color do not get pushed to the front of films and as leading roles. For example, when a lot of Asian characters in films are being portrayed by white people, there's just not a whole lot of diversity as you would think in a place like Hollywood. I'll talk more about that in a little bit, but what I want to talk about was sort of the experience for me personally being an independent, aspiring filmmaker. At the time, you know, I'm making movies now. I don't really consider myself an aspiring filmmaker. At the time, I did. You know, I did short films and stuff in high school, but this was my first time being on like an actual mid-production movie set. Now, previously, I had been to like Sony Pictures, and I'd been in like the editing room for like Spider-Man 3 and other films, but I had never been on set of a film that was in the production process. I've been a big fan of Wong Fu's work ever since like 2007. I've been following their work, and this was really neat that they were doing their first like feature film. Like this was the biggest project that they were doing, and they ended up doing it through crowdsourcing because they had an idea back in the day for a film, and they took it to producers and to Hollywood basically, and people liked it apparently. And what happened though was they wanted Asian leads, which isn't a common thing like ever in Hollywood, and Hollywood said no basically. So they built this audience online, and basically they crowdsourced through their fans this entire film, which is really awesome. They made way more than their initial goal, which is great, and they were able to distribute it through online platforms such as Vimeo on demand, Netflix, YouTube, iTunes, Google Play. Like Hollywood and movie theaters are becoming more and more irrelevant, and though there will kind of always be a place for them, their audience has been shrinking and shrinking. I could watch this entire movie on my phone, on the go, on the way to work. I could just stream it, and they didn't have to go through all the distribution process. They were able to distribute it themselves. So how did I end up on set of this film? How did I end up being an extra and sort of being able to help out and watch? There was different ways to go about, you know, going on to movie sets and being extras and stuff, and there's LA casting, there's actors access. So if you're out here in Los Angeles and this is stuff you might want to do, you're interested in doing, there's stuff happening all the time, whether it's for an online short film, a student film, for a big Hollywood film, a TV show, an audience. There's so much going on every single day. If you're in town, if you're staying for the summer or staying for a few weeks, I'll put some links down below and how you can maybe get started doing that. This is my first time being around a huge like set. I was in high school making films, so I didn't have like hundreds of people on set with me and like professional actors and everything. So it was a neat experience. And in the summer of 2014, when I ended up doing this, I met two of my favorite like independent filmmaking YouTubers, Philip Wang and Wesley Chan. Check out their stuff, by the way. They make a lot of awesome short films. I was gonna make this video already, but then I had actually seen that Philip made a similar topic video talking about the need for diversity and why people in the Asian community need to sort of stand up and take risk, whether it's investing in creation or consuming creation or getting involved, whether on screen or what I think is just as important, but behind the scenes. There's a reason why a lot of characters in Hollywood are portrayed by straight white people. And to be honest, it's really not the actor's fault. It's not really Hollywood's fault. But what it is the people behind the camera. It's the people who are in the writing room, in the producing room. People who are writing for these characters. They only know their world. When I see sighted people playing blind characters, don't get me wrong, there have been some great portrayals of blind characters.
No, she's not here, Paul. W-A-T-E-R, water. It has a name. W-A-T.
but sometimes blind people are just, you know, there for a joke or to overcome their blindness, and it's with a lot of disabilities on camera. They always have to sort of overcome their disability. Now sure, that's an inspiring story for an able-bodied person, but the reality is that some people just have a disability. For me, I'm legally blind, and I mean, I cope with it. I have assistive technology that lets me do everyday things that able-bodied people are able to do, but I don't necessarily ever overcome it. I don't honestly think I've overcome my vision. I mean, I don't see any better than I do. In fact, when I tried to overcome my vision at one point in my life, it kind of backfired, and I saw better for a little bit, got very adjusted to that lifestyle of seeing better. About 2-3 years later, overnight, the results of that surgery just vanished, and I couldn't really just take that surgery again. It was very experimental. Again, I was left legally blind, and you know, it was when I got very adjusted to a very sportsy lifestyle that, you know, I had a hard time sort of bouncing back from. It's just important that there's accurate representation in Hollywood, but we don't really have that, whether it's with disabilities, with races, with different sexual orientations. That is because of the people who are in the writing room. They're either trying to like make it a joke or make it a pun, or they're just not writing it correctly because it's not their world. They're, you know, they're trying to cater to a market, but they're not necessarily familiar. Sure, they can research, but they can't really get the real thing, you know. I'll be honest, when I'm writing short films, I'm often writing from the perspective of a heterosexual male. I mean, and that's where I kind of write the best, because that's the world I know. There are also times when I've written blind characters, and I've been able to accurately portray that, or characters with mental illnesses, because that's a world I've come from. But if I try to write an Asian character, or if I try to write a black character, or if I try to write a gay character, I'm not going to accurately represent them the way they probably should. Those are just sort of my 2 cents, my small short take. Basically, if you want change in Hollywood, get behind the scenes and accurately represent these characters that need the correct portrayal, not only for the character and for the project, but for the audience, because Hollywood has this way of portraying stereotypes very, very poorly, but it gets into the minds of, you know, your average person who doesn't deal with disabilities or doesn't encounter people of different colors or cultures often. So you have this misrepresentation in your head of what someone of this culture is like, or someone with this disability, you know, how they live their life and their lifestyle. Anyway, I know this is kind of like a different Rath Weekend vlog, but this is something I just kind of wanted to talk about with you guys and kind of share the experience of me being on a movie set, and also talk about Hollywood and the state of like diversity right now, because it's something I'm kind of passionate about and something I've been researching a lot. And I really do want you guys to check out Phil's video. He released this video right before I was about to sort of touch topic, and he said basically everything I kind of wanted to say, but he said it more from an Asian American perspective, and it was more so to Asian Americans. The message though that he said, I feel like can be taken for any person of color or any person with different sexual orientation or disability, and that's sort of how I took it. Again, I encourage you guys to really check out that video. It's awesome. And again, check out Wong Fu Productions. They have awesome stuff, and check out their movie, Everything Before Us. Anyway, I will see you guys Saturday with a brand new video. Thank you guys so much for watching.